I was like, great.
Well.
Yeah,
Or
definitely
Gothic
a
Kendall.
snack. I just like, and that was that. But definitely a snack. Now I will say, I will give it to Zach. He looked good, and he looked like he tastes good. So
And now, for anyone who hasn't watched Army of the Dead, I suggest you go and pause this and watch it, and then come back, because there's going to be spoiler after spoiler after spoiler. And well, the clue is in the title of this episode. Like you know what you're coming for. So your
yeah,
ass better have watched it. Otherwise, don't at me with, oh, I've not seen it yet. Then
yeah.
fuck
And
off.
also, why have you like not watched it? You know, it's on Netflix everywhere. It's right up there. Big zombie tiger. I mean, I guess zombie tigers are not going to be for everyone, but as soon as I seen it on Netflix, I've watched it twice already. God damn it!
You watched it twice?
Yeah, well, I watched it as soon as it came out. Like, I mean, as
Right.
soon as
Okay,
I
I'm
seen
with
it,
you.
and then of course I had to rewatch it for
That's
this.
commitment.
That's 5 hours.
5 hours of your life
Yeah,
you'll never get
yeah.
back. I mean, but I don't know. It is something that I could think about it now. Maybe after this episode, I'll decide whether I could potentially watch it again. I'm not sure. I don't know. Not that it's not in a bad way. I just don't know if it's worth the time
It's a
you
commitment.
spend watching it. You do know what I mean? It's a commitment. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just as a plot summary for everyone who hasn't seen it but you're still listening. So Arm of the Dead is about a ragtag bunch of a group of people. Yes,
Ragtag, love
ragtag
that.
bunch of I don't know what you'd call them, just badasses, all around badasses
Yeah,
that get offered money to go into the heart of Las Vegas, which is now quarantined off as like a zombie apocalyptic heaven, because that's where all the zombies are, and stayed in the
heaven
US
for
managed to kind
zombies,
of
not
yeah, and yeah, the US have managed to kind of like quarantine them all into one space, and which is quite amusing that that's Las Vegas, of all the places it could be in America, Las Vegas being the one. Yeah, so they're getting paid to go back into Las Vegas to hit a casino and break into a vault and steal $200 million. And then obviously mischief and mayhem ensues as the film progresses. There is a zombie tiger, there's uh there's shocks, there's
Scoops, there's gags, there's
this
a zombie and a fierce outfit. She is the bitch. I don't
oh
know.
the zombie diva queen. Yep, she's the
Zombie
one.
diva. She is fierce. Cooked at a cat with an extra cook cat. The
And a
house
boom
down.
cat.
Boo boo cat. The house down zombie boots. I mean, this is a Army of the Dead is the premise itself, and as I said, like the trailer, the way it was like so colorful and fun, and the fact you have this like zombie bride and this like rhinestone for filth outfit, I was like, this is
She's
camp.
bejeweled for the gods.
Bejeweled for the gods. She's even running around in a headpiece. Like, no matter what the zombie outbreak has done, that headpiece will always stay on her head. So, it must have been stapled to her scalp, because she be doing front flips, back flips, pirouettes, you name it, she does it.
However, she's doing them in a kitten heel, so I can't give her too much credit.
She's a straight zombie, and we know it. That's no drag queen, a drag queen, and that is no, gay man. That is a straight hetero woman in a kitten heel.
I would like to say this though. Do you think it was an intentional that the entire cast to be like extremely hot? Like I like the women, yes, but like I genuinely will say this, I would have fucked every one of them of the men cast in this film, because they were all sexy in their own right and way. Some more obvious than others, and then some just like by the end I was like, I would do you too.
Mm-hmm. Including the air pilot tag. Even she, in her own weird way, would get
She's
it.
hot. She was
Yeah.
hot. Like they were all hot. They were all hot.
Apparently, ugly people are the ones that die by zombie apocalypse. Only apparently in Army of the Dead, only hot people make it out alive. Yeah, apparently only hot people survive. And That's nice. Uh, not only are they hot, but they're just all like extremely great at fighting, or like
And
really map themselves.
at some point all have like a really funny moment. They were all like I just like the cast, it was stellar, was just
Mhm.
great, and all had a moment that like made me like tee hee, and I was really enjoyed them all, really did.
Yeah, I think it's good that it is such like a big cast, and as you said, there are these moments where every single one of them sort of shine.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is where we sort of start to get into, I think, what probably bothers me a bit. So, on one hand, I'm like, that woman, like any of the females, most of the females in this film are like bad as fuck. Love them
Chambers,
to death.
Chambers, like she was my girl, and she
She
was
was,
she got did so dirty by that
she
Martin
got
fella.
done
But I was like,
so dirty.
Martin, even though you did Chambers so dirty, like you get your dick sucked.
When that tiger was tearing him a new one, I was like,
Uh,
"You're a lucky tiger." Taking chunks of
yeah.
that. But Chambers is hands down like my favorite character. He barely gets any screen time, and when she does, she gets this badass scene, which to me is my favorite scene because you know that he leads her down this sort of like trap, and she goes down, and you think, right, she's going to die. And then she fights, you're like, right, she's going to die. And I think
Yeah.
this continues for about 8 times until
Yeah.
she literally throws herself out the window. And I'm like, she's made it. And then
Oh,
she
I was,
died.
do you know what? I was fuming because I was like, the bitch, she made it. She literally, she did the damn thing. And then to just like, to not and just be like, just a
Yeah,
horde of that.
and they were all so close. And I was like, you could have saved her. She managed to
Well,
get from in pitch black, surrounded by zombies by herself, threw herself out the window, even though you tried to lock her in, and yet
yeah.
that you killed her and she got out. And then they stand from afar and like, ah, Chambers, no, and just shoot the thing on her back. Deuces. Bad Chambers, I'm getting your cash.
Yeah, that no, that was but I do kind of feel like each character, even though you knew it was inevitable that like either all or most of them were gonna die because zombie movies, you've got a massive group of people going on a mission. It's just gonna happen. That's the point of it. So you kind of knew going into it. Yeah, most of these, if not all, will probably die. However, each time someone died, I was still like, oh no. Oh, like,
Yeah,
or they had their moment. I was like, oh, but no, I do like they should have been there. But I tell
I
you what,
think I think that is a good point because when they do sort of meet their demise, I've kind of found myself like, oh, but one of my like main problems was kind of how the women were treated. So not that they are treated badly, but every woman in this film, aside from Big Daddy Batista's daughter,
Kate.
sacrificed themselves or die like in a really flimsy manner. They either sacrifice themselves for the men or they're like mid conversation and just our whole night does like a whole 180. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like it was like the woman were just all the women are filler, while all the men, like he's the lock, he's the one who can, do the
Yeah,
safe, and the other one's the heavy duty who makes it to the end. And you know what I'm saying? But the women were just there as like fodder to sort of just like offer themselves up so that the men can sort of progress to the next stage. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I was like, every single woman in that film's done dirty. Every
oh
single
yeah,
woman in that film
definitely.
is
Yeah.
done dirty.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And even going back to like the opening, because I did think like it was really, I felt like there was like chunks that were like really, really good and really strong. And then there was some bits because obviously it was such a long film that I was like, whatever, like I can do without this. So I
Mhm.
do feel like sort of like the first chunk where you get all the action and you get like the opening title sequence. I thought that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. There was a lot of like really great like visuals. I enjoy like the music montage at the beginning of like when the apocalypse like first happened and everyone was like getting down to it, and then was super pissed when that one of like the most badass women on screen was you know, a big huge, what do you call them, container was just dropped on her right at the end, you know, when she's like, you know, at the start where she's like hugging the little girl, and then because obviously she's caught by the
she's caught by the
by the
horde.
zombies,
Yeah.
yeah, she just get like that container just gets dropped on you. Like she was like the baddest bitch in this bunch, and like she's out in the first bit.
Make of it what you will, but the opening credits is the best part of the film. Now, I know that is a very, you know, brazen thing to say, but make of
Yeah,
that what you will. That film has the essence of, I think, what Army of the Dead should have had, because that is like fun, funny, entertaining, heartbreaking, gore, all those things all condensed in one. And then the rest of the film's like grim and like family drama and like really drawn out and stretched out. And I'm like, hold on a second, you just gave us this whole super full of character, full of life, like title sequence that like was everything you could have asked for and more.
yeah.
And then everything that comes after is like a different movie, like completely, like doesn't even match the tone or the sense of fun that like the credits had.
Yeah, I kind of wrote down it was kind of like the film reminded me of like Game of Thrones meets Peninsula, because what is it, Peninsula,
Peninsula,
because
Peninsula.
Peninsula, because it was basically the exact same story as Peninsula, and then with the Game of Thrones thing was like the, you know, the White Walkers, because that's what I felt like these zombies were like, well, kind of like the White Walkers, where they had like just your ordinary like run of the mill zombies, and then like the more like the higher up you get, like the more intelligent they were, which I really liked that aspect.
I did.
I think for me personally, like these versions of zombies are my favorite out of all the zombies that I've seen, and like I think these would my, because I like the different levels of having like a zombie king, like having different like intelligence and whatever. I did really enjoy that aspect. So kudos for that. But
That's
yeah,
interesting because obviously it's that what we knew zombies to be from like George Romero has always been that shambling one. Then sort of 28 Days came along, made them all like fast, frantic. Like Zack Snyder's first was Dawn of the Dead remake, which was the same. And then like Walking Dead sort of made zombies like dumb again. So I get
yeah,
what you mean. It's refreshing to see that there's a hierarchy like with society and humanity. There is that hierarchy with the zombies, and that they hint at the idea of like procreation. You know what I mean? That the zombies can procreate.
well, that's what I didn't get, because you do sort of like, you find out, you know, midway through that the zombie queen, this Miss Diva, when she Miss Thing, when she gets like head cut off by one of the gang, and then the all the zombies take her body to like where headquarters is, and he's like just takes out the baby that was inside. I'm thinking, right, okay, like, because just let me like wrap my head around this. Was she pregnant before she was a zombie, and it's just stayed there and obviously not grown because she's dead, or did they make a baby? I'm
So
confused.
I think they made a baby because it comes out of her womb and it has this blue glow. And
Right.
then it happens when he's called Alpha, the sort of main zombie. He is towards the end, sort of meets his demise in a helicopter. And when that happens, this blue sort of blood comes out of him.
Yeah.
And it's obviously to represent he's the, as you said, like King White Walker of the zombies. And I think that he had impregnated her because he rips that out and that sort of blue go leaves. However, I discovered after watching the movie, and to me, it makes it 10 times more interesting than like without knowing this information. So basically, Zack Snyder has placed a few different oh, your breast strap's
Oh,
falling down.
no.
I think he did. He's placed a few different sort of Easter eggs into where the
Yeah.
timelines are going. And
Yeah.
there's several different ones where I don't know if you've seen it, but basically when Dave Bautista is jumping around in the casino, he shoots a zombie and it blows a part of its face off and it has a blue eye. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
later on, did you see it? And then later on in the film, there's zombies in the background who have blue eyes. They're robots.
yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this one where you have the moment where they're outside the vault and the guy, the really hot German guy, is like, when you open this, it changes and alters the time that we live, that we're in at the moment, and they find these skeletons at the site that are dressed the exact same as them. See, shit like that.
Well, yeah, because
Oh,
I read like an article where Zach was kind of like alluding, like he was basically saying like, yeah, what Vander Hugh was saying in the movie where he's like, oh, how do we know? Like, because obviously they see those skeletons and they're like, oh, well, who is it? And he has that whole theory about, well, this is how do we not know we're doing a time loop, and that's us from like a different moment. We've tried to already do this and we failed at that time. And in this article, he was saying like he was kind of hinting like it is and it is, there is and it isn't, like because it could be or it could not be. I'm not going to give too much away because there was those ones that they found right before uh, the vault, the safe, but there's also a group of them at the casino table. So it's like each time they do it, they get a bit further. So like they got to that point outside the vault and then did it and then did it again and got to the casino table, but then they all died there, and so on and so on and so on.
and that's
But
just like
there was
so
also
interesting.
there was also a theory that that when Kate like put the little piece of like material in the grate when she went down into the whatever she was going to, that altered the timeline how somehow, or like yeah, it was
All right.
yeah.
There's those ones, and then of course at the start, which I noticed when I first watched. No, I didn't notice when I first watched it, but when I second watched it, I seen it. The UFOs in the sky at the start. There's
Yeah.
you see at the very very start, you see two UFOs, and when the van drives towards and past the camera, one shoots that way and the other shoots that way. And then I looked up then, of course, and drew the lines where Zack Snyder's pointed out that there are robots, but we don't know if they're sent in by like the government or if aliens have put robots because they behave exactly like humans or like zombies. That maybe
Yeah.
that's where the aliens are tied in, but because there is two prequel anime films coming out or anime TV shows of Army of the Dead for Netflix, that will
Oh,
answer,
okay.
yeah, that will answer up all the questions about like the unborn baby, aliens, robots, and time loops. And I'm like, see,
Okay.
you got me, because this movie I think is decent, but all that makes it so much more interesting because I'm like emotionally invested. Like I need to know.
Yeah, because like we were saying before, like the hype around this movie was so big and it was so hyped, and we hyped ourselves up for watching this. And then yeah, just coming away, I was like, there is just something I cannot put my finger on as to why I'm not like more like enthused by it, or kind of like coming away being like, oh my god, that was the best thing I've seen for a while. Because I thought going in that this would be like the sickest thing I'd ever seen
Yeah,
for a while, and it just didn't end up that way, but not in any bad way. Like there wasn't anything about it that I really
but
didn't
not in a
not
good way
like.
either.
Yeah, it was really
I
strange.
think I think it's because, like as we said earlier, the trailer makes it look so over the top and fun, and the colors and the posters, the neon soaked like fonts, it all makes it look so unbelievably entertaining on a
Yeah,
huge scale. And then what you realize that when you watch it is a lot of the footage in the trailer where you see the whole, like the biggest sea of zombies you've ever seen is all in that sort of like credit scene at the start.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Elvis getting the Eiffel Tower falling on him, the massive crowd of zombies get like hit out with these bombs. Those are all things that we were led to believe were part of the movie, where they were all going to be like, the shot of the six of them shooting. I thought in my head we'd get a scene where it's sea after sea. You don't really get that, but what I think is the most annoying is like the movie is nowhere near as fun and entertaining as it makes itself out to be. It's actually like not really that fun at all. It's actually like can be very dark and gloomy and depressing.
yeah.
when it's not cracking a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's nowhere near as fun as it should have been and as it made itself out to be. And I think that's where my biggest problem lies, because I wanted balls to the wall entertainment like I've never had zombie entertainment, and it just was not that.
Yeah, and I kind of really wanted more time with the whole group all together in Las Vegas. I feel like as soon as they got there, they pretty much all split up and then they started like dying off one by one. It just seemed to kind of like happen as soon as they got there, happen really quickly that everything was kind of going to shit. And then I felt like around the sort of like final act, it was starting to like drag a bit. I'm like, well, I could have done with less of this and more of like the rest of the group, if that makes sense.
Like we didn't need this father and daughter tension. I mean, like it did not need it. I mean, it was, I kind of appreciated the whole, she was like, she has a reason to go in there because her
Yeah.
friend was like, and those huts outside where they're being like, basically they're captured and they'll be killed any second like refugees. I liked her reason for going in there, but the whole father-daughter dynamic was just like dragging it down, and they just like add baggage onto something that didn't need it. You've got a zombie tiger. You can't go from having a zombie tiger and like Miss Thing, who is the fiercest zombie ever, and then have like this really mopey, sad family drama. It's like, no, you're either one or you're the other.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it was, yeah, definitely towards the end where it was just, it's pretty much them two. And it was just kind of like, well, I don't need this. I don't need this really. And well, this is what you're giving me. And I suppose I'll have to just
Eat it.
take it.
Yeah, I mean, like perhaps two of the most uninteresting characters out of the whole bunch. I can probably safely say that they were two of the most uninteresting, and they're the two that like
Although
Zack
Kate's
Snyder
outfit,
held us and he was like ramming it down our throat. He was like, "You are going to eat this," and
yeah,
I was
but
eating
Kate's outfit was on point.
Okay,
And it was a simple like volunteer like
it was
tank top and jeans combo, but it was just something about it. I was like,
it was sickening.
oh,
All of their outfits were sickening. Now I'm going to get really bad here because I literally have it wrote down in front of me. I'm still get the names wrong. Who was the blonde-haired one?
she was called Coyote. That was a nickname.
She was lit. I think all the
She was
females
she
in
was
it,
badass.
all the females in this were badass. They were like the baddest bitches, and I think that's why I was annoyed, as you could tell by my previous comments about how they were treated, because they are so much cooler than the men, and they can do everything the men can do, if not better.
Yeah.
And yet they're just like treated like put in the back burner. Oh, we need someone to kill here. Push her along. She'll get her neck snapped. I was like, but we're
Oh,
emotionally
when
invested in this bitch.
because like the Maria, she was like one of like the main sort of like I'd say like second in command to
Yeah.
your boy Drax. She was like the second lieutenant. You thought, right, okay, she's at least gonna make it to like the like she's either gonna get it right at the end or she'll be there right then. It'd be like, okay, come, like great, cool, whatever. And then, but I also kind of in the back of my mind think, well, it's good that we get shocked that she was like
Yeah.
her like she was grabbed by one like the ninja zombies and like her head was just completely turned right around like a record baby, right round. And I was like, I was shocked
Very
when that
that.
happened. I'm really
Very
pissed
that.
off because like you got like a story arc with her. Like she was badass from the beginning. Like when in the opening credits, she was the one with like that huge gun and was just like like
That zombie
at the
just
st-
the
yeah,
best
yeah,
zombie kill I think I've ever seen is that
yeah.
zombie just completely exploding.
And then like throughout the whole thing, she's like getting the whole of the group together. She's in on it, and then she completely like just turns around and goes Dave, like I'm not here for the money. I'm here for you and that dick bitch. So like let's get it on. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. Next thing you know, her head is like on the other
Bottle
side of
cap.
her head. Like it's just I was really upset that
I was
she
upset. That's what I mean.
she got it.
Any time any of the woman died, I was really hurt. I was like,
Yeah.
even towards the end, when I'm like, oh, she made it out. She got them out alive in the helicopter. And you look, and she's like, 2 X's for eyeballs and like the thing through her neck. But I do want to know what happened to the other woman, the woman that see me names. She's the one that was in the refugee camp, and then she gets kidnapped or she gets sent.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, she's in the
happened?
helicopter. She's in the helicopter with the rest of them, but I just don't think you see her in the end. I think she's either flown out of the plane, out of the helicopter,
She's dead.
because I'm assuming so because you don't get to see like her get up or you don't get to see like her body or anything like that. So
You
I'm
know what
just
it was?
assuming that she's dead.
It was very Jeepers Creepers 2 when the girl with the long wavy brown hair gets thrown out of the car, and I've
Oh
spent
yeah,
years thinking, did she live? But
yeah.
obviously you don't know it. You never seen her, and that used to eat me alive. And now I have a new version. Like, did this woman make it out alive? Who knows?
And also, I'm gonna put it out there, like, I could we not have had like someone else survive other than her? I know she's got kids and whatever, blah blah blah. Who cares? Um, but could we not have had, I don't know, Maria not get her like her neck snapped in half, or Chambers, does she have to die, or even Coyote? But again, we still don't know if Coyote died because all she got was that huge pole, like she got impaled in the shoulder, which wasn't going to kill her. And then
Yeah, all she got was that huge pole through the shoulder planted against the wall. Just that's it.
Yeah, but she's not gonna like that's not instant death. That's a survivable, injury. And then you just see the main man, I think he's called Zeus or something like that, just like lick her neck, and you're like, well, it was a lick, it wasn't a bite. So is she dead or not? You don't see if she's dead. But then obviously it gets nuked, so she's obviously dead.
But she definitely dies then, yeah. But that's what I mean. It's like she was cool and she gets clung to that wall like a dead fly, bless her. And I was like, I wanted a fight scene.
Yeah, me too.
Her. But I think the only one who's death scene, and it is hands down easily my favorite scene, is Chambers.
Yeah.
That whole moment is fucking iconic. That is gay level of iconic. She needs to be praised, given a raise, bring her back. I don't know, as a zombie.
Especially because like that Martin dude, like he did her so dirty. Because she was like, all right, okay, I'm gonna hold back because I don't trust that you're gonna help us out have our backs. And that to me was like, right, well, I'm not. So you can go down that way and go down, split her up from the rest of the team so she gets fucked up. She manages to escape out of those zombies, and then he puts that chair on the door so she can't get out with them, and she's so like tight. What the fuck? And he's like, ha, bye bitch. And you think when you hear her like scream, you're like, well, she's like, that's it, she's toast. Then the bitch like catapults herself through a window, and everyone's just like, oh, hey Chambers, and she's like, hey guys, does anyone want to help me out? And then she gets like,
they just watch her die.
Then she also just kind of like just stands there, like lets it happen. You're like, so you're not gonna not what? You've got weapons and arms, and like you've been fighting your way through like a whole entire room full of zombies, and you can't do these last 4.
Yeah, and like everyone's just standing there, like, Chambers, what's up?
You and good, then the guy, her fella Raul is like, right, okay, I'm gonna shoot your backpack gasoline, and then you'll explode. And you're like, well, you could have helped her out by shooting the zombies behind her first.
Yeah, you had your gun, you had to wait till they made a Big Mac munch chunch out of her, and then it pissed me off. But then I was also like, I would have been so much more annoyed if a character that cool just like died in a really shit way. She like was given camera. Yeah, she was given a moment more
she was
more so than most people in the whole entire movie. She was given a moment, and I was living for it. And we just need more people like that, please and thank you. No more born bitches making it to the end. No.
Yeah, especially because she doesn't really say that much up until the point she starts to like get fucked up or like led down the wrong path. She's kind of like not like a non-character, but she's just kind of like there filler. And that's it. Yeah, like you think, oh, she's clearly a filler, and then when she gets the moment, you're like, no, I want this bitch to make it because she's not a filler, she's badass. Like, because I thought she wasn't going to be that way because she was just in like the Raul, the guy who's like the YouTuber who you think like what's he got going for him, because he's killed a few like zombies on camera. He's not like a full on
Mhm.
like ninja warrior type thing, is he? So and she's in like his crew, so you think, well, is she like just like an influencer? What's her like? What's her zhuzh? You don't really know her, so you don't really get to know her that well. And then she finally gets a moment, and you're like, what? Like you're gonna do Chambers that dirty? You're like, no, no, not on my watch.
Yeah,
Not
I know.
on my watch.
And a mad damn bitch. That's what I mean. But we are thankful that she does have that moment, and it was definitely the best in the film. Loved the hoop earrings. Loved choice of
The
headbands.
bandana,
All of
oh,
it,
like the hair, everything.
all of it was a moment. Speaking of like Tig's character, I was so fascinated by the fact that she wasn't actually there. So I
Yeah.
found myself watching her to see like if I could
Could
really
you
point out if she was like CGI'd.
could you not tell? I could tell.
I could tell. I could
I
tell.
really could tell. And it's not like not in a bad way to like the Zach or like the filmmakers. It was just like you could just tell it just didn't gel that well, and you could just yeah it but it wasn't in a bad way. It just didn't look. She didn't look like right. She looked really out of place.
You could tell that she wasn't having a conversation with like Scott, the character, like when
Yeah,
Scott and Marie, is it Maria?
Maria.
Where Scott and Maria come up to the gate and they're having this like back and forth. You could just tell that they weren't speaking to each other. But maybe it's like we know that she's not there, so it's so easy because I was looking at a few comments and loads of people really couldn't tell that like she wasn't there. Um, but there'd be a few shots where they'd all be in the same room and she would be like blurred out behind
Yeah,
someone.
or like she had this sort of like really weird like blurred outline around her, so you could just kind of tell like she's not really there. And there was a moment, I think it was in the end where um what's the face, Kate, and she goes up to like the glass of like the helicopter, and just the way it's shot, you could just tell like they filmed Tig in that bit, and then they filmed it separately, and it just was put together. It wasn't in the same room or same frame or
Yeah.
same time. It and those sorts of things kind of take me out when you can see so like the editing choice or styles or things like that. It really does take me out of the illusion. I'm like,
Mhm.
really? However, I really did enjoy Tig in this movie. I thought she was
I
great.
think she was great. I couldn't imagine it have not been her. Like I
Yeah,
know that it
yeah.
was I can't even remember his name, classic, but whoever it was that was supposed to be there is like a man a lot taller, and she had to come in with basically the same dialogue and deliver it in a way where I'm like she was like the one of the best
What
characters.
she wasn't like the first choice.
Nah, so the guy that done it was charged or for like sexual abuse or
Oh my god.
so he was digitally edited, or so they just went and reshot and just put her over the top of his, gave her all the same lines.
I
Same
didn't know
hair.
any of that. I thought she was.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a case of like I don't know scheduling conflict, and then it's like we really want Tig in it, so we're just gonna put her in this way. I don't know why. Yeah.
I'll
Oh
find out
wow.
the name now. Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia. He has like sort of like long, wavy, dark hair. Had like a dark beard. Yeah, he was in it. And because of like sexual misconduct or all these people coming front about like those sort of stories,
Oh
they came
wow.
out. They were like,
I mean, what
yeah.
I would like to know, why was she not in it for the first place? Why was it have to be a guy? Why? Because to me, that was the role that was hers forever. She was born to play that role in this film.
Exactly, but
And
we're
is
so
is this? Am I right? Is this the first sort of like big movie that she's done? Because I
I
only really know
think
her as like
so.
because I only really know her as like a comedian, like just doing stand up. I don't really know her to be in,
So
and
she
I'm not
does.
seeing her
She's
in
done
anything.
a couple of movie roles, but she's not done anything to the extent of like
Right.
the budget of like this movie and it being like
Yeah.
basically like a blockbuster. But she was one of the best parts, and that even defends the point. If she wasn't in it and that was a man, even more so, all the woman
Yeah.
would have been rendered useless because she was one of the few ones that was like, you know what I mean? Like just had an impact on the way the story moved. She like had a part in playing in the success as opposed to the rest that were just there as like target practice. But you know, as bad as it sounds, nobody can get killed quite like a bad bitch in a horror film. You know,
That's very true.
they're just so much more interesting to watch than a born old man getting a cut. They just sell it better. That je ne sais quoi. So
And I can't really imagine it without her in it. It's
strange.
although I would like to see some footage of this guy who was supposed to be in it, just to see the difference and if how much of a difference it would have been,
Yeah.
and would it have been worse off him being in it? Like what would have been the impact? I wonder. I don't think it would have been as good without, to be honest.
No, I don't, because she just brings a different sort of flavor to the cast, and I love her character, but more so that she was just this, just like gay, carefree like character that I was like loving for, and that would have just been like a long-haired hetero man. Oh, boring. Did you not just fall in love with I think he was called Omega. Was he called Omega? Or he has the tattoo of the Omega. His name's Omari Hardwick.
Oh, Amara Hardwick. It's called Vander Ho or Vander Hugh How.
I
Vander
know him
Ho.
because he has the Omega tattoo on him, which obviously.
But we'll just give by his real name, Amari. It was just, I mean, I made him Man Meet Monday the other week, and it was just I had to, because he is like hands down. I will, say this till I'm blue in the face. One of the hottest men I've ever laid eyes on. He is just
quite the treat for the eyes.
I seriously one of like the hottest men to walk this planet. Like, and please, like, fight me. I will fight anyone who disagrees, because he's
fight me right now.
He's
kick your
so
hot. Butt naked and fight me. Wrestle, baby. He was.
No, I really enjoyed him, because at first I was like, oh, is he just gonna be like sort of like the straight man in the sense of like he's got like no jokes, he's just sort of like serious, the straight man, that in that sense, like he's just so serious and that's it, and that's the vibe and what he brings to the table. However, I thoroughly enjoyed him throughout the whole thing. I thought he had some good jokes, some really cool moments. I like the fact that like at the end he manages to survive the whole nuke thing by being locked, by being in the vault
safe, yeah,
to then get to the point where he ends up on a private plane with all this money, and then he's got like a bite mark on him. I'm just thinking, at what point did he get bit? Is there a scene where, because I don't remember seeing him get bit.
It's when they're fighting, when he's fighting with Alpha or Zeus, whatever his name, I think it's Zeus actually, and they're like having that fight, and then that's when the German guy sort of pushes him in and closes the thing. But at some point, that's where it is that he gets bit. Could you see the zombie sort of opening his mouth near him, and next thing you see he's kind of thrown away or attacked. So that's obviously where it's come from. But I thought to myself, these are supposed to be smart people. You think they would have known that the vault could have saved them from the nuke, and all just got into the vault.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have this problem. They actually.
But then again, how are you supposed to know that a vault is nuke proof?
Exactly.
Because who was to know? Because I just thought that was it. That for him, I was like, that's game over. He'll just either starve to death, or when the nuke comes, he's
toast. Which is way worse. I thought to myself, like, this sexy, smart, hilarious, screechy German guy has just locked him in here, and he is going to starve to death. I was like, you may as well just let him be ripped apart. That's way worse.
Well, I don't know. I think I would rather starve to death than let, because all you do is pass out, and then have someone ripping your insides.
After like weeks of lying there with nothing to drink, nothing to eat, suffering constantly with nothing to look at, stuck in a vault for at least a week until you rot. No, rip my head off, turn my head 180.
But speaking of the screechy German, I just fell in love with him. I thought he was so funny from top to bottom, and every time he screamed at a zombie, I tee-hee-heed and peed my panties. I thought he was so funny, and a treat for the peepers. I was like, oh, get me some German sausage, seriously,
Savoy on tap. Thank you very
I
much.
will have some of that schnitzel. Mm.
And but again, I was like, I don't want to see him die. But
Me
also,
either.
I don't want to not see him. If you're going to kill him, let me see you kill him. Have a bit of respect. If you're going to
Yeah.
kill someone that we love dearly, at least have the decency to show us. Don't let it happen off screen. I want to see his head get ripped off. I
Yeah.
want to really
Yeah.
suffer.
Especially because everyone else gets their own death scene, and he's the only one really that doesn't really get. And I'd say Tig, she doesn't get one either. You just see her like and
Yeah,
like X's out.
exactly.
Although weirdly, I thought you going back to that scene towards the end when the uh, things crashed, the helicopter.
Yep.
I thought you saw, but it was wrong. Like her, like through the glass. I thought she like got launched through the glass, and then when Kate walked around, that wasn't the case because she like tapped on the front of the window, and I was like, oh, so she didn't get launched through the glass.
I thought she loved. When I watched it both times, I could have swore she's moving. I could have swore she's lying there
Well,
like,
she may be because yeah.
hello, there's a propeller through my tit. Can you help me? Like that's what it like looks like. And then Kate's just like, Dad.
Yeah.
Forget about everyone else. Daddy, Daddy. I mean, if my dad looked like that too, I would be very attentive as well.
Yeah. Now, do you think your man Omari, when he goes, he's on the private plane at the end, and he goes to the bathroom and realizes that he's been bitten? Do you think he does the deed and like kills himself, or do you think that starts the rest of the world gonna be
I think it starts.
zombified?
Yeah, I think it's like very ominous ending, which I like. It just you don't know if like he would be the honorable person and throw himself
Yeah.
off the plane, or but I think because he's in the air and you can't really just open a door, I think he's like stuck and he's just going to turn and do one of those bad bastards and just rip up them poor little ladies that did nothing to nobody. But at
Yeah.
least they enjoyed a really fancy glass of champagne before they bit the dust.
I mean, do you think there will be another one or not?
Mm-hmm.
You think there will?
I think so. Zack Snyder has said he'd absolutely love to do it. I think it all depends on how many people are going to watch it and how much revenue and money it brings Netflix, which already I think is a lot. There's
I
already
think it,
two prequels. I think it's brought them a lot of money.
I think it will do or has done really well because I think for people who aren't like us who are critical of horror films and do this for a podcast, I do think it's a pleaser for the masses because it is really fun. It is something completely different that we haven't seen in the zombie genre. And everyone just seems to really like Zack Snyder, and I get because he makes really good films. He just does. And
It's proof in the pudding, really, isn't it?
yeah,
And
exactly.
I think he can get caught up in his own bullshit.
Yeah,
I think he gets lost. Like I think we've put him on a pedestal that he's like, every film I do now, it's going to be unfiltered. This is exactly how I want to make it. But I'm like, yeah, but that scene shouldn't be in there though.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you need to like stick with that sort
Edit.
of vision. There's editing for a reason, and you really should have edited. Not everything can be like Justice League and come out
Yeah.
4 hours and be nearly perfect. But even that could have been edited, So word to the wise, Netflix, don't let them get the final say on the final cut for this next one because
And
Jesus.
again, Netflix, like they're doing something at the moment where they're just canceling like TV shows that like are beloved by fans and like not renewing this or like doing sequels to really hit movies, but yet giving like TikTok stars their own fucking series. And you're like, we don't need to see that.
No, but
I'm
who
sorry.
cares?
We don't. I mean, they're just trying to like, why are you trying to cater just for the Gen fucking Z? It's like, come on now. Like,
If no one has noticed, excuse me, that was the evil spirits trying to come out because they're
mhm,
with some
the
ass.
devil.
They are now trying to cancel fetishes for Pride.
Oh,
Gen
don't.
Z
Sorry.
has now opened their mouth and has saying it is wrong and disgusting that people should be allowed to walk around Pride in fetish gear. People can do whatever the hell they want. It's called pride. It's being proud of all that stuff. Yeah, walk around with like a dildo in your mouth, or
Yeah.
literally no clothes. There's obviously a line. But if someone wants to walk around in a
Yeah.
doggy mask, whether you understand it or not, Gen Z, respect the people that have come before you, because you would not be walking around this confident little gay that you are
Yeah.
today, not ticking any boxes and being your own magical self without those people who Gen
I
Z.
mean, the weird thing about that is like, because I saw it all like explode on Twitter recently, and I feel I can see sort of like both sides to this because on the one hand, pride is, it is for everyone, and it is, inclusive for everyone. However, I do feel like and I don't know what it's like in America, but I imagine it's more of the same and more hyped up. But I do feel like a lot of the times it is very much catered to the like the white ripped gay male. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of like it does kind of feel that way, and I can see why people who don't either fit in that box may feel like not as included, because all they're seeing is a very sexualized and very, in that sort of sense, pride event that on paper or first glance looks like it's just catered to all the white boy circuit gays that just want to get like off the tits and like suck a dick on a dance floor. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
does, on paper or first look like that. However, it isn't, because like there's so many kinds of different people. But I feel you on that. Like, don't try cancel like the fetish people, because they're also valid too. And if they want to, it's one time a year where they get to be out and about and feel all the joy and the
Authentically
pride.
themselves. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's it. Just stop worrying about trying to cancel something that's not broken, and just worry about why your generation are like Benjamin Buttons. Why they're
Yeah.
like old people. And you know what I'm saying? Why you are
Yeah.
old people? It's so young. Let stuff be. Let people sort of be happy. But yeah, I draw a line. No one should be walking around butt ass naked at Pride. That's just not normal. But if
Yeah.
this man over here is ripped as hell and he wants to walk around without his top on, I'll look. And
Yeah.
you do what you want to do, baby. I'm over here wearing clothes. I got lots of clothes, but you fill your bits and I'll stand here and go, right. I'll be a
So
dead tiger on dead tiger.
so tell me this. Say a group of people come up to you and say, right, okay, we've got this real hot gig. We're gonna go and break into a vault, steal some money, but there's a chance you might die because we're going into a zombie infested city. How much are you getting paid to do this realistically? Because some of these people are saying yes to not a lot of
Some
money.
of
I'm
people
like,
saying yes to like 100,000, and I'm like, there's like 200 million in there. I'm getting at least 50 million.
and that one guy who went in there for 20 grand, I'm like, you, sir, deserve everything that's coming to you because you are an idiot. Hot, but an idiot.
I wouldn't go in for like any less than 50 million, and I know that's a lot. But
Oh, 50.
Yeah, if 20, I don't know, 50 or 20.
Well, you wouldn't have got that because they were only going to get given. But I was thinking in my head, like realistically,
I
I
would have said
think,
no.
I mean, if it was any less than 5 mil, I'd have been like, sorry, not worth it. It's not
Yeah,
worth
like,
me probably dying. Because let's be honest, when someone says to you, right, we're gonna go where a lot of zombies are to get this one thing, and there's like 8 of us in a team, and then we've got only a certain amount of time to get in and get out, you'd be like, we're all probably gonna die. So
you have to really be unsatisfied with your life to go in there, or really, really badly need the money. But no, you're right. I was being extra at 50 million. I'm not worth 50 million. I'm barely even worth 1,000. So I would go in for like no less than 5 million. And I think I would do it because this is the truth. If they just followed the rules, I know it would have been a boring film. But if they just followed the rules, like Blonde Bob said, like Saya said, so don't disturb them. Here he is. Let us fanny about. please no one cause havoc. It's all Martin's fault. If Martin
Oh, it's
didn't,
all Martin's fault. If he had not done killed the zombie queen, they would have got in, got the money, and got the fuck out, and it would have been happy days. Boring film, but I'd be the one on team being like, right, okay, no one step out of line. Everyone do the job they're here to do and nothing else. If one of you does anything remotely stupid that's gonna get me killed, I'ma kill you first. End of story.
exactly. So yes, I would absolutely do it. But only with people that I sort of remotely trust, or at least someone in the group trusts. Not no Martin Clunes flying about,
Yeah.
because we would go in there, right, for no less than 5 million.
Yeah.
We'd come out £5 million richer because everyone done what they were supposed to do, not fucked around with no zombie tigers, and that be that. But do tell me, did you like the zombie tiger, or for you was that like too far?
No, I mean it's Vegas. Like, I think because like that's the thing is when you like when the setting is Las Vegas, and because that is a ridiculous city in the world, of course there's a zombie tiger. I'm surprised there wasn't more zombie animals. I'm surprised there wasn't more like zombie theatrics or like just
Yeah,
stupid like event like just zombie events. You were like, that is insane.
zombie circus.
But because it's Las Vegas, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
we had a zombie horse, which looks spooky.
yes.
And it was cool how they used the animals then. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is so cool. Like, it's good to see the zombies in a different sort of way.
And I loved, you know, when like they had the whole zombie horde was like descending on the gang in the bit they were in the casino, and the tiger just like had a moment, was like, I'm gonna sit on this car and just
Have a
chill
yawn.
while you all carry on. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm like, and what? I was like, that's my kind of vibe.
That's my bitch. Just lay there. I had a wee yawn. Yawn. I'm so, was like,
And then
oh.
I'm I'm glad that Martin got the ending he got. However, I would have liked to have him, because he had zero chance with that tag. I mean, zero chance, and he deserved zero chances. However, I would have maybe enjoyed more of a fight or more of a something, you
A
know.
fight
But
scene.
however, he got fucked up by the tiger, and he deserved it because he was an absolute cunt to everyone. So
Literally gets the top part of his face ripped off, and then remember the blood just pours out. That is super cool. That is
but
so
not
cool.
before that zombie tiger just throws him around,
Like,
and that zombie tiger knows exactly what it was doing. It wasn't playing around. It was like, I'm gonna take my time because you deserve it,
yeah.
and
Did
that was
you
great.
know that to CGIN a tiger is so expensive? So it's like it was so expensive for them to do that. Like they wasted a lot of money. Not wasted.
On the tiger.
On the tiger, it's so expensive. That's why in The Walking Dead they had Shiva, but she was barely in it and then killed off because she was too expensive. And then in Game of Thrones, they remember towards the end they just stopped with the
Direwolves.
dire wolves. They weren't, because they were too expensive to CGI in. Apparently CGI in like a dog, like a lion or like a tiger is millions. Takes like it's like millions to do. I
I
don't get
mean,
it.
I don't get how. I mean, I honestly don't, because I mean,
So
well,
expensive.
I'm not an editor, clearly, but it can't. I mean, surely if you have the skill to do that and that is your job, surely it can't be that difficult, right? I mean, I'm probably dead wrong, and people are like, people who do that for a living are like, you are so stupid, you sound dumb. But if that's your job and if that's your skill, then surely like but maybe it's
I don't think it's the skill part. It's like it must be
logistics of
the
like how they.
logistics of because when I was watching it, they have to go and they went to Big Cat Rescue where Carol Baskin was before she was
Oh,
like
really?
famous. Yeah, and that's where they got the white tiger from. They have to film footage of it being like that, then build bones of how it walks and how it moves. Then they have to build the muscle tissue on
Right.
top of it and how the muscles move, and then they have to do the skin. Then for this one, the tearing away of the skin, adding the dry blood, adding the skulls, adding like the matted fur. So it's like not just like with a CGI person who you just scan one over and then you can just get it like running. This is like you have to
Right.
map
Yeah.
out every single like detail apparently.
Well, you would have thought like either Zach or whoever's on in the team may have known someone in the industry that has like footage of a tiger. They could have just like copy and paste and obviously changed it all around and gone, oh, can I just borrow your like your
Tiger footage.
CGI tiger or line or whatever? And gone, I'll have that, yeah.
Who knows? But
But what do
it's
we know?
strange.
We're not in the biz, so what do we know? But
We're just podcasters who have no knowledge whatsoever on how much a CGI tiger costs. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do, eh?
not a lot.
But I will find out more on that because I probably give false information too about the actual price. But again, I'm not a CGI tiger expert, and I never will be, bitch. Never.
Well, you look like one.
I do, don't I? Little big bean head. So, tell me, Miss Thing, all about your final verdict and give me your actions on Miss Thing's Army of the Dead.
Okay, sure. So I think this film is ambitious, maybe a little too ambitious, possibly. Maybe they bit off more they could chew because I don't know, there's just something about it that's a little bit like unfinished, if that makes sense. And it's not like the editing. I don't know what it is. Is it the story? Is it the editing? Is it I don't know what it is, but something about it just seems a bit like, what is it? What's not quite right? I don't know. It was funny as hell. It was entertaining. Great cast. Yeah, it was a good time. But like I said, there's just coming away. I'm like, but did I have that good of a time? I'm not sure. But maybe because the hype was so big that it's just left us feeling a bit disappointed. Maybe, I don't know, because it didn't live up to that hype. But are we being too critical? I don't know. But yeah, it was still a great time, great cast. Everyone is a real treat. Everyone's bangable. What more could you want?
Everyone's sexy as hell. That's a 10.
Every single cast member, I'm talking every single one in this, the main cast were sexy as hell, every single one. And I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 excellence.
Woo! Come on, 7. Yeah, for me, I thought it was like a really good like zombie movie. However, I think it was crammed with far too many ideas, points of views, narratives, crammed into something that really deserved to be nothing more than zombie carnage, havoc, fun, like entertainment, the house down zombie boots. And
Yeah.
that's what it deserved to be. That's what it needed to be. That's what it advertised itself to be. And I felt disappointed coming away when it was just dragged down by character drama. Too long. The dialogue wasn't great sometimes, but the characters were and just a lot of wasted opportunities. But I still do like it. And I've watched it twice, and guess what? I'm gonna watch it again. So I would give the Army of Dead 6 excellence out of 10.
Okay, I thought you were going to give it more than that, to be fair.
I would say 6.5. I'm somewhere between 7. I was a 6, but then after this episode, I like it more, because it's like, no, you're right. Like when I think back, I'm like, oh, I quite like the ideas they have, like with the aliens, the robots, the zombie babies. Some of the scenes with women are lit. So let's go 6.5. Will I get it in Blu-ray?
I would love nothing more than like an all like female team. Like then that would be like a wet dream.
Just why like, hasn't no one done it yet?
A badass bitch crew. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is it too much to ask for? Like, or have like 2 men that are just extras and just get killed straight away.
Just like, be like
that's what they're here for, to get killed.
Yeah, exactly. Have it like Ocean's 8, but in a zombie apocalypse. Amazing.
Hello, I mean,
take our money, please. Please. We don't have any money. Take our ideas, please give us your money. I think that sounds so fun. Just a badass bitch group, just like fucking up zombies.
Being led by Michelle Rodriguez.
Ooh, have it like Beverly Hills Housewives, but it's a zombie apocalypse, and you know where they can barely even wipe their arses for themselves, but it turns out that like they become like bad zombie slayers. I'd watch that.
I mean, that sounds more like a sci-fi channel movie than it does a Netflix
So
original.
that's proper MTV, like My Super Psycho Sweet 16, isn't it? That's proper what that's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not the best.
The shite is what you're trying to say. I get it, like,
and there's like 16 of those films as well. There's so many of those films. You're like, how do these films keep getting made? No, it's like there's a bunch of them. Yeah, and you're like, how does this keep getting made? Yet, you know, we can't get the film we want made. We can't get a badass crew of women just to kind of fuck up some zombies. But yeah,
I think that all the time.
And that's where we are. But yeah, go and follow us on Instagram at
Spelling Guts Podcast.
Follow us on Twitter at
Spelling Guts Pod.
Find us on Facebook at
Spelling Guts Podcast.
And if you really want to, please send an email at
spellinggutspodcast@outlook.com.
And other than that, you can please go like, subscribe, give us a review, because it all helps, and we just love attention, obviously.
Love attention. All of it. Bad and good.
True. And on that note,
Deuces.
good day.